KOMO.
Hi, I'm Koya.
And welcome back to the KOMO Show.
Today's topic is
Sugar daddy culture. I love that you pointed at me. Like almost feels like I have a sugar daddy. I do. I have a sugar daddy in the form of a husband.
Is that what we're calling them now?
No, of course not.
I've heard of it the other way also. I know like older women. I actually know someone like
Sugar
an older
mommy?
woman. Yeah, full sugar mommy.
Yeah, let's just say sugar daddy or sugar mommy culture. But since the former is gaining so much of attraction of late in the country we live in, which is why I was like, why don't we just talk about it? Because it's such an interesting topic. It has so many viewpoints, so many perspectives.
Okay.
Let's first acquaint the ones who do not know what a sugar daddy culture is.
Okay.
And then maybe we move on to yay or nay.
Okay, Rinima, tell us, what is sugar daddy culture?
When I don't have money and all I have is a body.
And I'm just like, hey,
baby, give me money and you can do me. That's a sugar daddy culture. No, bro, of course not. I mean, kind of, yeah. Basically, to put it in a nutshell, for the ones who do not know what a sugar daddy culture is, how the dynamic works is when a younger person, guy or girl, starts depending on somebody or gets into this relationship with an older, wealthier man or woman for monetary benefits in exchange of maybe sex or whatever they like. Maybe some of them even ask
whatever
them to read
their
a book.
arrangement is.
Whatever your arrangement is, honey, whatever it is. Some people like just sit and watch the person. Maybe even that just makes them happy. I don't know the dynamics, but usually that's what a sugar daddy culture is. When like maybe a 17 or 18-year-old girl gets into a relationship with a 50 or 55-year-old man, age no bar, by the way, I'm just giving a random number, and the older man helps her with monetary benefits, and she does she.
So
I'm trying to be respectful.
Sherry, I think we both feel differently about it. I'm not sure, we've not discussed it yet. So let's do pros. What are pros?
Yeah, so we're not going to say yes or no for that today. We will leave it to you guys to say yay or nay. So at the end of the discussion, you comment and tell us if you agree or disagree to the sugar daddy culture.
And whose opinion you align with more, maybe.
Yeah. While we were talking about pros, I'm going to tell you the first pro that I feel for the sugar daddy culture.
Okay.
Sense of liberation and empowerment.
Okay.
When somebody, a girl or a guy, gets to decide for themselves what's best for their life and what they want to do,
right,
with no judgment around, and the culture is so popular in the West.
Right.
I feel like that sense of liberation and empowerment that a girl can just sit down and think, if I want a sugar daddy, I'll go get it. I don't care about what society thinks, because quite honestly, when anybody is going through financial challenges, the society doesn't come in handy. You know, I have been there myself. Like,
right.
I have been in a situation where I had to do or die when I had to protect my dad, you know, keep him going on life support. So many such situations or circumstances just creep in that you just don't know where the person
No, I
is
understand.
coming from.
This is also like, I think people whose stomachs are filled don't get to judge people whose stomachs are not. And you make decisions basis your own conditions that no one maybe understands.
No, absolutely right. I mean, imagine there was a point where we were told what we can or cannot do. And at the same time, today, when we are allowed to think for ourselves, I mean, it just makes sense, because I think no one else can decide for you as well as you would do it for yourself. Which is why, for me, it's a yay to a point that if you decide to have a sugar daddy, quite honestly, I'm the one to judge. You do you, and I do me.
Okay, so India has this like fun thing, right? It's like, if it's okay as long as it's not happening in your backyard.
Yeah.
So tomorrow, okay, hypothetical question. If your child, okay, now this is someone you have literally held their neck, now they've grown up, and what if tomorrow your like very young child tells you that they have a sugar daddy? Like, because again, this is very easy to talk about in hypotheses and like when it's happening somewhere else and we're commenting on things, but if it was happening in your family with
like if my daughter did it,
if your daughter did it,
I'm like, he better be richer than your dad, because you know, my daughter, if I have a daughter, her dad is rich enough, and if she needs a sugar daddy besides the father, I mean, honey, world is your oyster. Go for it, and let me know how it goes.
Yeah.
I mean, what else can I say? I mean, see, end of the day, if she's...
This is someone like you love, and you know this older dude is just like like in your mind as a mum, and you know mums have like a very feral, protective energy.
Yeah.
So you know exactly what this person is looking for in your daughter, and this is your blood.
Right.
I'm just curious, like, would it really be something
it wouldn't be
you're
that
okay
easy. It will be easy for me to decide for myself, quite honestly, and I'm pretty sure it'll be difficult for me to decide for her, because it's always difficult to decide for someone else, whether it's your own kid or not your kid. And as a mom, I definitely don't want to be deciding for her if she has reached a certain age where she thinks she's mature enough to decide for herself. But I'm going to bring in my 2 cents and tell her what's in it for her. Like, quite clearly, the guy is only looking for not love, maybe. I'm guessing it's more of a physical transaction.
Okay.
As long as she's sure that she's psychologically not going to get impacted by that, and she's okay to not have love in her life and just have like a physical transaction, then again, it's her decision at the end of the day, but I will lay it out there for her.
Right.
You know? But what I also like, again, we are talking about pros, okay? We are coming to cons. So don't judge me saying that she is encouraging you to have a sugar daddy. No. We are just discussing pros and cons. Another pro that I see in a sugar daddy culture is, you know how the expectations are so clear from the beginning? Like in a regular relationship, we don't set expectations like that.
No, that's true.
But in a sugar daddy culture, it's pretty clear. We are not like a eternal couple.
Sorry, pausing here. Just a gentle PSA to all the women watching.
Yeah.
Like, if you're okay with someone entering you, you should be okay with having difficult conversations with them.
100%.
Because you shouldn't be okay with someone that's entering your body and that's okay with you, but you're not able to have like conversations you actually need to be having. It's hard, but it's very necessary. So, I mean, this is just a gentle PSA for all the women watching because it's very important. Don't avoid conversations that are really burning in your soul that you really want an answer to because you are clear about it. Just because you're afraid that someone will lose interest or something is just very, very important for me to say. I'm just going to unpause.
Yeah, no. It's fine. No, I get what you're saying. But then you know what? One of the things that in a sugar daddy culture that always bothers me is the dominance, right? The person with the money is always going to have an upper hand, and the sugar baby, if that's a word, or the person who has entered this relationship is never going to have a say. And that is a big con. He's always going to be making shots, right? And it's not always that the girl has to have an equal say, because the way that the whole dynamic is, it already feels like this person is like the hero and you are just going to have to just abide by whatever he or she has to.
No, yeah, the power dynamic is definitely uncomfortable. Now, one fun myth I read was that, you know, women were considered like, you know, when the men were out hunting, in history's mythical society of nonsense facts, there's been recent data to show that women fought as much as men in wars.
100%.
Women were actively engaged in very, very physical activities of foraging,
making
and things
weapons,
like that.
Everything.
No, lots of, and if you even start looking at, like, I know this is a tangent, but like the other day I was checking out some of the most famous authors who have written through a woman's character have stolen from the women's diaries in their lives.
Yeah. No,
and there's like data on this. I'm just saying, like, it's
no, I get what you're saying. I mean, that's always been, and I get where you're coming from in terms of how we have been fed.
Some people are very, very good at compartmentalization.
That is what I'm saying.
Very, very good.
And most of the Western, they do it so fucking well. Like, I have friends who says things like they are absolutely okay with their husbands going and having a sexual relationship with a hooker or whoever outside the country, as long as he is not emotionally connected with the person. That's compartment.
Okay,
that is exactly what you're talking about.
But that's just a simple difference between the genders. Like, women are not okay when it's emotional cheating, and men are
I am not okay with any cheating, by the way. Let me say that clearly. My husband goes and fucks someone else, I will chop his dick off.
No, but like, apparently women are not okay with emotional cheating and men are not okay with physical cheating. Like, that's the deal breaker between the genders. Isn't that insane?
Insane.
I just think it's important to talk about these things because, like, the
normalize
more
talk at least.
The more you have conversations about topics that are considered controversial, I feel like the more it de-alienates them.
Absolutely. It helps someone make a well-informed decision.
Yeah.
If a girl today at 17 or 18 wants to have a sugar daddy, I'm not saying that's the great choice that she has made, but me as a 35-year-old woman, and after seeing the world the way I have, I'm going to lay it out there for you. These are your pros, these are your cons. Now you go make your choice. Why don't you go ahead with the next advantage that you can think of?
I think that would just be having, again, it's related to the word access that she already mentioned, but it would be having access to someone's expert guidance.
100%.
They've been through life, they've seen some stuff, they've become clearly successful enough that they can provide for another human being.
Yeah.
And that in itself is quite an achievement. So I've dated some very, very successful men, and I'll tell you one thing, like, the access to their brain sometimes is insane.
And you don't get that access just like that.
Yeah, no, that's true.
You gotta be dear to the person, I guess. I don't know for him to give you like...
No, because it's great, very actionable, strategic points of view that you wouldn't get otherwise. And it's invaluable advice. People who have become successful enough to be able to easily, without it causing a scratch in their own finances, provide for someone else is truly like a thing. Like, I think it's a very attractive quality in a person also, like achievement and competence. But like, let's talk about some of the cons, since I feel like we've really
let's go ahead.
explored the pros.
I think one of the cons that we already spoke about is how the dominance remains with one person.
Yeah,
the person who has the money.
The power dynamic is pretty clear from the get-go.
So if you are expecting for the person to say, you gotta value me, you gotta respect respect me. I have a say in this. And he might just come back and say, shut the fuck up. Like, you know, I'm paying for everything that you're doing. So you might feel kind of, I don't know, belittled a little bit. I don't know. I have seen relationships, again, cannot name it, wasn't mine. But I have seen relationships of sugar daddy and sugar babies where the guy belittles the person so much, like the girl so much, just because she has no say. Anything else that at the top of your mind.
So we were talking about cons. Another thing I would like to talk about is I feel like again, like we said, everyone has a different spectrum of how they compartmentalize.
Yeah.
I do believe that if you're someone who's at your core a romantic person, or someone that's like kind of seeking love in some kind of long-term perspective, then I think you should reconsider this, because I don't know about you and how you are and who you are, but I think sex without chemistry and conversation
is so fucked up.
Some kind of human beings are such that no matter however much you try to plan for it, expectations always creep in.
Now my worry is in the long run, these kind of relationships where you are taught or your mind is getting accustomed to looking at it as a transaction, in the long run, do you think it's fostering the wrong culture towards love and relationship? Like this person who, let's say, had a sugar daddy, 10 years later is getting married. I'm worried about him or her, of how she is going to look at that relationship, because by now your mind is so accustomed to, he provides for me, this is what I give. Transactional. It fosters that kind of a culture, right? A transactional culture, as opposed to a loving, nurturing, compassionate relationship that we mostly saw with our grandparents and our mom and dad. That I'm very afraid of.
Another con. Someone taking you for granted.
Not valuing you. Treating you like somebody who is only materialistic.
Just treating like they are the focus. You are just on call, right?
Yeah.
For demands. And I think that's something to definitely think about, like as in your capacity to deal with these things.
What do you think about societal impact? Do you think it's kind of, again, perpetuating a kind of stereotype where my biggest fear is, what if we get so used to this culture that we as women forget to put it all out there and forget the whole financial independence game? Right. What if that happens? Because it sometimes might seem so easy to just have this kind of a relationship where the money is there and you have a lavish life and you don't have to work hard, you don't have to think about a career, and you spend your first few years of your crucial years of your life just wasting time on this, and you don't, because if you're making the most out of it, like by going to a great college, by getting great exposure and gaining great skills out of that money, and then finally by the time you're maybe 20-25, you are a strong either entrepreneur or you have a settled job because you used all these skills that you have. If you're going that direction, I'm absolutely okay.
That's optimum utilization of
resources. Like maximum utilization of minimum resources, right? I mean, we all studied about this in school. But what if it's the flip side? What if it's making us lazier? What if it's killing the fire inside a woman that usually is to be financially independent herself? What if that's happening? What do we do then?
I think the only other kind of inspirational thing I can say is you always have a choice, even if it doesn't feel like it. A job is a job, regardless of like what it entails. It's still something that you can hold your head slightly high with and say, I put in this work and this is why I get this amount of money. And hopefully you're around people that can support your decision and not judge you for it, whatever that job may be.
Yeah. And for whatever it's worth, guys, not everybody gets a sugar daddy. So which means the fact that you were able to lure one, you yourself are something, my friend.
Yeah, amazing. Good for you.
Good for you. Like if anyone is making you feel otherwise, because it's not like there are a bunch of sugar daddies out there. You can go and say sugar daddy and one will walk into you, honey. It's not easy.
Everything is work.
So mostly women,
especially when there's money on the table.
Exactly. You've got to be worth it. So if anyone coming to you telling you, oh fuck you, you're a bitch, you have a sugar daddy, you're like this, you might as well want to tell that woman, there's a reason I have one and you don't.
I want to know what's your price. Like, what's the price for you?
For my sugar daddy?
No, one night with you.
Oh my good lord, my husband is going to kill himself. My one night with me.
What does it cost?
It costed Gotham his entire fortune. And now he gets several nights with me till the last breath I take. Oh my god, it's crazy. Now we sound like escorts.
No, but like, what's the price? What's your price?
My price?
Firstly, do you have a price? Secondly, what is the price?
Yeah, well, think about it. I mean, for me, quite honestly, now that I said I will talk about it, right? So by the time I came to a point in my life, I was 31 years old, 16 years 3 failed relationships, all the guys I was providing for, or I was sharing equal amount of money, maybe more. I'm telling you, I was a sugar mommy, I feel.
Beta.
And then they were, in return, they were cheating on me. They were constantly hitting me. They were insecure. They were overly obsessive. I couldn't make decisions on my own, whatever, blah, blah, blah. So by the time I came to a point where I was like, I need to find a fucking sugar daddy for myself because that's what men deserve. I'm going to be a bitch to men. I'm going to make this a transactional relationship. Fuck the emotions aside. And who do I meet? My husband. My sugar daddy became my husband. Like he was the first fucking guy I met. And I didn't plan on it, right? I didn't specifically look for an older guy. I went on Tinder and I was like, maybe if I date an older guy, he will not have commitment issues. He'll be okay for marriage. He will have a provider mindset. This is what I was heading towards. And lucky me, looks like I'm worthwhile. He married me, you guys, within 4 months. And that's what I'm saying. So now I feel like I'm safe now because I'm not going to have to worry about my self-esteem. I'm not going to have to worry about psychological impact. I'm not going to have to worry about power imbalances. I don't have to worry about societal impact because I played by society's rule. I married the guy. I'm smart. Imagine if I kept the same guy as a sugar daddy, I would be called a whore today. But you know what? I'm so well respected right now in my entire society because he's my husband. If you get the message, be smart.
Marry your sugar daddies right now, guys.
Marry your sugar daddies. I married my sugar daddy.
If there's one takeaway from this video, that's what it is. Trap
Be like rinima. Go to Tinder and marry the sugar daddy.
Okay.
And you also need to know this. Okay, now this is an interesting aspect and you're going to laugh your tits off on this one.
Okay.
Now look at this. India.
Okay.
We do mostly arranged marriages. Whenever we go for an arranged marriage meeting, what are the first things our parents looking for a guy? Financial security.
That's true, bro.
So when the parents are looking for a fucking sugar daddy, it's okay. When the girl is going and looking for the sugar daddy herself, it's not okay. Please explain to me. Like, I get so much
Make it make
hate.
sense.
Yeah.
Make the math match.
Yeah.
I heard like there are dowry calculators
100%.
within the IIT IIM community. So it's called IIT IIM dowry calculator. Like it's literally a marriage. What should your dowry be? That's my other question I'd like to leave you all with. How are we not okay and consider some people really controversial and like a huge slut and a whore for like doing this versus when everyday practices also entail understanding who the person is and what they bring to the table in very, very materialistic figures, you know? So that's also something to think about. Like,
bro, in many cultures, not just India, financial stability is a key factor for marriage. It's key. The first factor in marriage for most arranged marriage culture is how much does the guy earn? What kind of job is he into? So I somehow feel it's imbibed in us and now it's too late to take it away.
No, that's
you
true,
know, and now we're just deciding it for ourselves.
We start thinking about what the things we've normalized and the things we haven't and why. Yeah. That's about it.
Yeah. But now we're going to leave it to you guys.
Yeah. I mean,
sugar daddy culture, yay or
nay?
Tell us.
Yeah, you tell us what you think.
Because we are fucking confused as you are.
We brought about a lot of ideas into this conversation and we're curious what you think. So do let us know. And
help us decide. Yeah. I mean, not me. I'm already married. Maybe Koel can, after all of your inputs, maybe Koel can open her minds.
If you got the money and if you got the money, you're tall, call me. Why not? Let's go. Let's do
not
this.
Call me.
It's not like dating. I'm dating for free and being disappointed for free.
Exactly. Might as well.
So
might as well have a provider and do the same things.
Call me.
Don't call me. I'm married. Okay. All the calls shouted to Koel, but we love you guys.
Like.
Subscribe.
Share.
Yeah, and comment. Most importantly on this one, don't forget, guys, we love you. And just know that we are these 2 Bangalore women who's never going to judge any of you women out there. Okay?
See you next time.
Bye.
Okay? Bye.
Love you. Ta-da. Okay, guys, we thought we will end it in a better note. We are in my Miss Momo studio, so we're going to ask around my friends and employees around to immediately say yay or no because they heard that entire conversation. First up is Shruti, fashion designer for Miss Momo. She is 23 years old, single. Yay or nay? Yay! Yay! Purnima?
Yay, yay, yay!
Yay or nay?
Yay!
Yay!